Recently, one of the students asked me that, is it worth doing masters in US and becoming a blockchain developer? What is the scope for getting job into the industry? What is the exposure I will get if I do my masters, if I do my blockchain developer or CS degree from the United States? So before I give you any advice, I just want to highlight few important things, and that will help you to make your decision, because there is multiple factors that involve, like your financial condition, your locations, and from where you are doing your masters, what kind of degree you are pursuing, what kind of environment you're going to have in the institution, which particular program you are following. So there is multiple streams out there which you have to pick, and like then you're going to utilize all of that to become an enter into the industry. Then you're going to specify a particular role that, okay, I'm going to be a blockchain developer. So yeah, there is a job market for a blockchain developer or a full stack developer or API developer, but gradually you will start from the bottom. So being a specific to a particular technology is not that good, because you will find that 80% of the technology which we utilize in the blockchain field, it's come from the Web2 technology. So first you have to learn about the regular technology we have in the industry, and then you can simply switch back to the blockchain development, because that's the same thing going to utilize it. If you're working on a consensus layer protocol, EVM mechanism, then you can go beyond and deep into that topic and try to focus on the recursive in the security field. So that's the first thing you have to keep in mind, that you cannot be a blockchain developer straight away. You have to take the normal path. You have to start from the bottom, learn all the relevant technology, then you have to move to a higher technology, which is the Web3 ecosystem. Now come to the second question, that is it worth doing masters in the US? So obviously, if you are doing from the US, then you will have the higher exposure to the industry, because if you look at the Web3 ecosystem and all the tech advancement which is happening at the moment is happening in the Silicon Valley or in the European countries. Like you will find there is a lot of hackathons, a lot of project initiative is happening, and a lot of companies are also investing a lot of money into this small project which is happening coming out of the college. So you will have a higher chance as compared to if you look at the Asian country coming from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan or Nepal. So if you come from this particular country, you will find there is a less investment and there is a less exposure. What I have noticed after talking to a tech expert in this particular field, whether you talk about the Web 2 and Web 3, like they found that there is a lot of innovating things that are happening in the Silicon Valley, you can say US, Canada, like those there you will find there's a lot of tech involvement is happening in this particular protocol and design segment we have as compared to what we have in the Asian country. So that's why you will find that where we have very few companies right up here. They're in very early stage of development. Still it's happening, but it will take time as compared to what we have achieved in the West, and the kind of involvement and the recognition we have got into the financial system, how it's getting utilized. If you go back to the way, if you go back to the US, there you will find that MetaMask have launched their card, so you can easily able to do the performance of the transaction, and you can buy some stuff using their card. So there is a lot of advancement is happening which we can see at the moment in the Asian country. That's the second thing, that if you do from the US, you will have a good exposure and you will be relevant to the industry and all the advancement which is happening in the ecosystem. That's the second thing. The third thing which I would highlight you here, that which college you are picking it, what kind of program you are taking in the college, because right now there is a lot of colleges out there in the US. Like you don't need to do your masters, you don't need to do your degree from a mediocre college. You have to pick a very good college, then you will have a exposure in that way. In the same way we have in India, like we have top IITians and we have thousands of other institution, like they perform the same degree, but you can see the differences in the kind of skill levels, in the kind of curriculums and the kind of involvement and initiatives. So that's the thing you have to decide, that what kind of projective it's going to give you in the future, what kind of job opportunity is going to provide you. So you have to track down the record of the college, that what kind of exposure they're going to give you, because doing your degree is just a thing, but the main thing you will gain at the institution, that what type of exposure you are getting, what kind of exposure environment you are getting, and what kind of benefits going to give you in your career. Because like if you go back in 20 years ago, like most of the students were trying to do their MBA or tech degrees in the US, in the Western country, because after completing their job, they were getting a job and they were working in the company and they were getting a good exposure. But right now, most of the companies are changing the policy. A lot of geopolitics are changing at the moment. So it would be very hard for you to get settled in the country after completing your job. So you need to find a country, or you need to find a place where you can do your master and you will have an exposure to working in the country, because you are completing your degree there. And if you can't get exposure to work in the company, then it's going to be a very tough road for you, because when you will come back to the industry, you will have a totally new segment. This market is different. The kind of communication we have in the industry is different. The paycheck is different. The environment is different. The work culture is different. And the kind of service we provide is mostly the outsourced product we do right up here. So there's a lot of things that are involved. So first thing, you can do that, but try to pick a good college, because it's going to cost you a hectic amount of money when you go to pursue your career in the US. It's going to take a lot of money. If you look at the tech, it's going to cost you. So to give you my personal experience that how I look at this university in the US, my younger brother, like he's in Stanford, he's doing his PhD in theoretical physics. So he talked about the innovative things, talk about the advancement which is happening, the kind of environment they have, the kind of exposure they get. So it's absolutely insane. So it's absolutely worth doing your master's if you are capable enough, because the kind of environment we have in our education system is not that good, because most of the time you have to put your effort. All the technology which you're going to learn in your normal college, in your normal in graduation course which you're going to do, it's very updated. Like they haven't updated the course yet. Right now they are doing it, but it still will take like 3 to 4 years to 5 years to get fully fledged. But the time it will take to reach this particular position, the technology will also go ahead. So the technologies are rapidly changing, rapidly changing. You have to work on your skill, because right now you will find a lot of non-techie is also working in the industry. So you have to compete with them. You have to compete with the AI models. So you have to be best in your work. If you try to be mediocre and don't put your effort, don't try to understand, don't try to perform the work properly and do a mediocre work, then obviously you will be replaceable and it will be hard for you to get into the job and sustain in the industry. Right now you can see a lot of layoffs are happening. You have to keep that things in mind, that which company you have to target, what kind of product base you want to target, what kind of service you're going to provide, because the dimension is broad. That's why I told you at the very first that you have to learn the regular technology which we utilize, and then you have to go to a specific segment. In that way you will open the road for yourself in a broader category. Otherwise, if you try to narrow your learning curve, narrow your path, then you will have a less exposure, and you will have also a good opportunity there if you scale it up, if you master the technology, if you try to solve the problem and whatever you know with that particular technology, and if it's really demandable at the moment. So there is a lot of things that are involved. I would highly encourage you to, if you find a good college in the US, definitely go for it. Try to check the record, try to check your job opportunity after completing the course, what kind of exposure. If it's possible, try to consult with the dean, consult with the students who have already completed the course, where they are, what kind of work they are doing, what kind of exposure, what kind of package. So there is a lot of things that are involved. So definitely doing your masters, if you have enough money, is totally worth. There is no problem in that. Ultimately we get a good environment and good ecosystem, so you can able to groom yourself as compared to what we have right here in the Asian country. Okay, and the kind of involvement and innovative things are happening in the technology. So yes, my take is yes, you can do it. And before you do that, make sure to do all of this check. That will give you a very good exposure and it will help you to make it relevant. So that's the only thing from my end. If you have any question, any doubt, do let me in the comment section. I'll definitely try to help you in that. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.